he predicted a new monetary system collapse and a gold price rise to $5,000. Of course, the dollar is going to lose its leading position eventually, which, in fact, is already going on. It's necessary to create perfect conditions for the stock market to continue its incredible bull rally. Welcome to the Coin Post. You might have heard what they are saying in the financial market. Many people rely on gold and consider it the most promising and almost the only asset that will survive the current crisis. Is such a scenario possible? In theory, yes, as today they give $1,760 an ounce, and by the end of the year it's expected $3,000 or even $5,000 an ounce. This could really happen. The only question is what should be done for the stars to align and for the gold to become the most profitable asset. In this video we are talking about who promotes the idea of gold, how it can become a better asset, and even discuss an alternative scenario when investors in a precious metal could be left high and dry. Subscribe to our channel please and share this video with those who consider buying gold. Let's start. We begin our survey on gold with the collapse of the American monetary system, that is, with the hyperinflation of the dollar with all the consequences. An anti-US Federal Reserve policy activist and the gold proponent is the economist Peter Schiff. Back in 2012, while gold set a historic high of $1,900, he predicted a new monetary system collapse and a gold price rise to $5,000. At that time, his forecast didn't work out entirely, and in December 2015, the gold price hit minus 45% of the historical maximum. Now Peter Schiff is ready to get back in the game, and he's betting on gold again. He believes that Bitcoin's profitability seems ridiculous compared to the profit that investors could get from the precious metal. The second unwavering supporter of gold is Robert Kiyosaki, known for his books on business. He's repeatedly criticized US authorities for printing new dollars. The last time it was a few days ago. Robert again pointed out that the Fed creates no real money because it doesn't produce anything. The Fed does this to save the rich, and with their actions they actually steal this money from everyone else, because the growing public debt will eventually be given to ordinary people. The only protection against such arbitrariness, according to Kiyosaki, is investing in real money. Firstly, he puts gold on the list, which he had previously predicted for a price of $3,000 an ounce. And last but not least, and most impressive gold supporter and the dollar opponent is the billionaire Ray Dalio. Unlike the master of one successful 2008 crisis forecast, Peter Schiff, and the excellent business coach, Robert Kiyosaki, and I mean the coach, because as a financial expert, Kiyosaki is more of a populist, who says what the audience wants to hear. So, among these three, Ray Dalio is indeed a worldwide specialist, and if he says cash is rubbish, then ignoring such a statement would be just stupid. But there is always a small but. I recently made a video in which I explained that Ray Dalio is the head of the leading hedge fund company Bridgewater Associates, and as its head, he primarily defends the interests of the fund. In 2008, Dalio was able to profit from the crisis, but the corona crisis cost his company 16% of the capital. And now the billionaire will return this money, having earned on a further market fall. And you must know that when Dalio once again gives an apocalyptic forecast, he, first of all, pursues the interest of his company, providing the necessary information background that could help make more money. I can actually explain my skepticism regarding Peter Schiff's forecasts, Robert Kiyosaki, and even Ray Dalio regarding the dollar collapse and the gold price rise following it. Firstly, no country in the world is now interested in destroying the dollar. The crisis caused by this could lead to irreversible consequences like the collapse of states, wars, world hunger, and all the horrors that conspiracy theorists love to scare us with. Therefore, I believe that the world won't get to this. Of course, the dollar is going to lose its leading position eventually, which, in fact, is already going on. And we also have a video about this on the channel. You can go and check out the link in the description box. In the meantime, the whole world is on the dollar needle, and I highly doubt anything threatens the US currency. Secondly, gold lost the battle for the right to be called money, and the chances of returning this status are incredibly doubtful. Let's take one strong argument. Look, how many fiat currencies have already depreciated and disappeared? Well, I want to point out that in countries where their national currency died, gold did not replace it. Instead of paper money, they got new paper money, and it all started again. In current conditions, the worst case scenario is we can see the dollar replaced by another currency or some form of money, but it's unlikely it will be gold. And there will be no return to the gold standard because we need neither the former nor the latter, and they both are inconvenient for the calculations. I'd say what's more interesting is the digital dollar theory when it comes to future money, but it's a completely different kettle of fish, and that's not what it's about today. Over the 12 years from 2000 to 2012, the gold price rose from $260 to $1,900, adding more than 600% to its value. In the financial markets, such growth is usually called a bubble, and that's what it was. Because over the course of these 12 years, the demand for gold did not increase by 600%, and the price increase was explained by the behavior of the precious metal as an investment asset. And since gold doesn't pay dividends, they bought it in the hope that tomorrow there would be someone ready to give an even higher price. In 2000 and 2008, the financial crises that secured gold as a protective asset played an active role in this, which is actually another market manipulation. After all, no one can guarantee that gold price increases when stocks become cheaper. It's just that this scheme has been working for at least 20 years. And when people get afraid to buy shares, they prefer to invest in gold and vice versa. When in 2012 the world calmed down and believed in the stock market prosperity, the gold price immediately fell almost twice, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And theoretically, we can return to prices like $1,000 or go even lower if the Federal Reserve manages to crush the 2020 crisis at its source. To do this, the world has to avoid a wave of bankruptcies, quickly find some miraculous pills from the coronavirus, and resolve a bunch of local, political, military, and social conflicts around the world. It's necessary to create perfect conditions for the stock market to continue its incredible bull rally. And then everyone will understand that further keeping money in gold is merely unprofitable, and they will begin to sell it. My understanding is that such an ideal scenario has minimal chances to come true. There's a lot of evidence that within 6 months to 2 years, the second wave of the crisis will cover the world. It will probably be related to the consequences of the current corona crisis, but we shouldn't underestimate some others unpredictable reasons. And I want to clarify that this is not a forecast whatsoever. It's just my point of view, and you and everyone else should get as much information as possible, analyze it, and draw your own conclusions. If my fears do come true, we'll get enormous tension in the financial system, which could lead to the overflow of capital in gold. And since there's much more free money, thanks to the Fed with their money printing machine, then the price of gold could rise much faster than it happened from 2000 to 2012. Taking only 1.5 to 2 years to get to the, say, $3,000. So, I shared my opinion of the future of gold, and I'd be grateful to those who can share what they think in the comments. Our team will keep monitoring the events and inform our viewers, so subscribe to the channel please. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. It's the Coin Post channel. Subscribe and get enlightened.